Look at that. Looks quite peaceful, doesn't it?
It does. Look at the sea. It's quite calm, isn't it?
It's like hypnotic. You can kind of just watch, and it's like one of those things that sends you off to sleep, you know, when you're just watching.
It's soporific. Do you mean it's soporific?
Yes, it's soporific. That was exactly the word that came to my mind.
I got in the bath about 4 o'clock this afternoon.
Was it like that?
After toiling away in the garden, you know, literally toiling, a lot of pulling and burning and, you know, generally sort of getting rid of non-natives. And then the bath, I ran it lukewarm because I was very cold, got in it, turned the hot tap on, and just like, I could have just gone like that.
Very descriptive.
Could have just gone.
Yeah. But you didn't?
No, of course no. Had things to do. Yeah,
okay. I love that. I love a description of your bath. I mean, that's what everybody tuned in to hear about, was, you know, your rising temperature of your bath water.
Well, what do you do? I mean, when you run the bath, don't tell me you run it and then you get in it and you don't top it up with hot water.
No, it depends on the situation. Well, if there's bath bombs going on. You know, I love a bath bomb. You know, ethical bath bomb.
You don't ever soil my bath with anything like that.
Oh, do you remember when I put the pink one in your bath and it went everywhere? There was glitter all over it. I was not his favourite person for a very long time. It caused quite a bit of commotion. But anyway, we'll get off our bickerings. We've started off on a good note already.
Northern Royal Albatross, though.
Oh, yeah, Northern Royal Albatross.
Northern Royal Albatross. I tell you what, though, tonight we've got some really super birds. We've got the Northern Royal Albatross, and we've got some fantastic clips of this because there has been some momentous events taking place. If you haven't been following this, it's on Tararoa Head in New Zealand, and it's the All About Birds Cornell site, which is delivering these fantastic pictures. But we've got some really super duper stuff coming up, and we've got the clip of one of the best birds in the world.
Yeah, I mean, it's so unbelievable that it is almost unbelievable.
Yeah,
it's, you know, you have to look twice and think, is that real? Did evolution really come up with that? And it did. And
it did. And as I'm about to tell you, you know, at some point, I actually have seen it.
Yeah, well, quite soon actually.
About that far away.
All right, don't show off.
Seriously.
You're pushing it. You're showing off.
Honestly, so good. Lizzie Daly is going to be joining us.
Yes.
She's been out and about in between lockdowns, went off to the Isle of Mull, and some like it otter. Lizzie Daly certainly does. She got some fantastic pictures of otters, so she's going to be joining us and telling us a little bit about that, and sea eagles as well.
And sea eagles, yeah, she's been up to a lot. She's been having some great adventures, Lizzie.
I think she went off to Norway as well and did some stuff over there.
She did go off to Norway.
Sea eagles there.
I speak to Lizzie quite a bit on social media. She's a good friend, and I have to say, when all those photos came in of her surrounded by whales, yes. Yeah, it was pretty impressive. So she'll be here to talk to us a little bit about that. Yeah. But of course, over the course of the week, you've been sending in your photos and your videos to the Self-Isolating Bird Club Facebook group. Thank you very much for doing that. We really, really love seeing when all of your images come in. And there's some pretty good ones. Have a look at this. This is one of my favourites.
Yeah. Let's have a look at this then. This is a fieldfare. Look at that.
This is a fieldfare. This was sent in by Paul Fraser. What a bird. I mean, it's stunning, isn't it?
That is a very, very handsome bird indeed, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it's a good time of year to keep an eye out for these
good photo. I like the light because there's light behind, and it almost as if the light is reflected onto the bird as well.
It's backlit almost, isn't it?
But it's got foreground light on it as well. It must be bouncing off of I don't know what.
No.
But it allows you to
white shed.
Examine in soft light all of the intricacies of its rather splendid plumage. You see, now when I was a kid, I really didn't like fieldfares very much.
Did you not?
No, they're too messy.
What do you mean they're too messy?
Well, look at all of the gradations of tone on the back, and then all that stuff, the streaking going around the throat.
I like the
cheeks.
streaking. I think it looks quite funky.
Look at its underparts, sort of flecked. But now I've come to sort of I've mellowed
matured a bit. into the fieldfare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a splendid photograph. Look at the berries.
The berries. Oh yeah, the colour. It highlights the kind of the chestnut colour of the wings, doesn't it? The berries.
And also look at that out of focus piece of what are they? Sorry, I can't see. Let's have a closer look. Oh, can't see. Hawthorns could be. There's lots of lichen on there. Yes, but the framing at the top's delightful as well, isn't it? A little bit of green balances at the top. The bird's head's perfectly placed in that area of out of focus background. It's a delightful fact. I'm not actually just looking at that. The bottom right-hand corner with that.
I was wondering
there.
if you were going to pick on that, if you were going to be a bit picky.
And that berry that's touching its chest.
Yeah, yeah, that berry is touching
separation. We need separation.
But all in all, you can't control every berry.
Paul Fraser took this.
Yeah, it's a great photo.
Pretty good picture, isn't it?
Pretty good photo.
Hey, but hold on, hold everything now, because you're about to see something that it's just. It's way out there. So we found this clip of a standard wing nightjar. Now hold on, here it is. Look at that.
I mean, it's just unbelievably.
Oh yes.
I mean,
now what is going on? Basically, it has 2 feathers on the wing. The veins are there. You can just catch sight of them there. Look, and then on the tips of those feathers, it has the feathering, nothing on the rachis like that. And I think we're going to need to see that several times.
Yeah, I think we need to see that again.
Fabian, please. Fabian, would you play that again? So this is a male standard wing nightjar doing its display, and it's got those plumes erected. And very often when you see these birds, you can't see the rachis, that you can just catch it there, but you can't see it when they're actually flying around. And it looks as if one bird is flying in synchrony with 2 other small birds hovering above it. Now that is simply extraordinary. I postulate, I'm making a case for the male standard wing nightjar being one of the finest birds in the whole wide world.
It's certainly one of the most unusual.
Come on.
It is, yeah.
Look at that. Come on.
Do you know what it looks like?
Right.
Do you know what it looks like? When kind of you got a small child in the supermarket, and in order not to lose the small child, it goes into like a buggy with one of those big balloons, one of those big flags up the top. So wherever you're on whatever aisle, you can see the flag, and you know where your child is because of the flag. So you'd never lose a nightjar like that, would you? Because it.
I think vaguely know what you might be talking about.
You know what I mean?
Anyway, listen. So here's a horror story. So we went to Gambia.
Yeah.
And it must have been about let's just think to get the time right. It must have been about 1999, and we went over Christmas. And on Christmas Eve, I went out birding for the evening. You and Mum stayed at the hotel.
Yeah.
And I went out with Malik Suso, fantastic birder, one of the best birders in the world.
He's an amazing birder.
Unquestionable. And we went to a piece of land behind the Palma Rima Hotel on the coast in Gambia. And that happened about that far above our heads for about 10 minutes. I can't tell you, it's the best Christmas present ever.
That is pretty good.
Santa can retire, because frankly that was the best Christmas present ever. However, the standard wing nightjar story carries on, because I wanted to photograph the standard wing nightjar, and in recent years they disappeared from the Palmarina. They built a load of stuff there, so the site where they were, we lost them from there, unfortunately. And then I was constantly asking Malik and all of the Gambian bird guides, have you seen standard wing male? Where are they displaying? No one could find any. And then they found some females on the ground. So we knew that there must be males around.
Yeah.
And so about 4 years ago, I managed to track down a recording of a standard wing nightjar's call. And this, they found a male, and I photographed it in the daytime, but I mean, frankly, on the ground, with its wings spread out, the 2 plumes just lie on the ground. Look, like a couple of leaves behind it. It's of no photographic merit whatsoever. It needs to be in the air. And you get this little window of opportunity where you can see the bird and the camera can focus on it. And then I was going to do second curtain flash.
Oh, yeah.
So basically slow exposure. So maybe like 30th, 15th of a second. And then the flash goes off and freezes it. So you get a bit of a blur against the sky, and then the bird frozen like that. That was my wish.
That'd be quite nice.
So we found the nightjar. We go out, okay, and we settle down. I'm in position. We see it there. We know it's in the bushes. Then we settle down and we wait. And I turn on my device that I bought to play the call, hoping that would antagonize it and it would come towards me, fly over my head, and I'd get the shot. Turn on the device, no sign of the nightjar. And the guys get up the next day and it's gone. They never turn up again. So the recording that I had scared the nightjar.
You've scared it off.
The only standard wing nightjar
you went to all that
male
effort?
known on the I mean, inland they're a bit easier, but on the coast of Gambia and due to my photographic, endeavours, I scared it off.
That's pretty bad. That's birders' #1 rule, Chris.
I was not popular because obviously the guides there were showing everyone this male standard wing on the ground. On the following day, when everyone turned up, all the birders turned up to see it gone. And it was down to me annoying it.
I wouldn't brag about that. That would be a story that I'd keep to myself.
No, I'm just telling the truth.
I mean, it's good to tell the truth.
Let's see it one more time. Fabian, go on. Let's just give it to us one more time. It is simply extraordinary. Come on. The males, look at that.
It's amazing.
So who got this video? Imagine the photographs.
Marco Silva.
Yeah.
Marco Silva on Facebook sent this in.
Look at that.
I know, it's amazing, isn't it?
Oh, my goodness me. Oh.
It's great.
I have to lie down.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It is pretty cool. Okay, all right. Okay. Yes. Well, lots of people are saying hello. Lots of people have tuned in today. So thank you so much for joining us. We've got Lindsay from Ireland, Poppy, we've got Leslie, Nancy, Debbie, Pauline, Luce, we've got Camilla, Simon, Darren, Rona and Robbie, everyone from Maryland, USA again. Hello. From Maryland. Essex, Dublin, Ireland, Scotland, Yorkshire, Portsmouth. That's quite close to us.
Relatively local to us. Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for spending your Sunday evening with us.
Okay. So we've had the standard wing nightjar. Let's get back to the Northern Royal.
Northern Royal.
Okay.
Let's do that. So of course we've been looking at this live camera for quite some time now. Been checking it. Obviously it's quite nice going to the other end of the world because then we get the opportunity to see birds which are breeding, nesting and rearing young, which is amazing. And we've been keeping an eye particularly on this pair from the Cornell lab. And it's been amazing to see. A lot of the time we've seen adults flying by in the distance. We've seen a little bit of interaction once. We saw that live, didn't we?
We did, yeah.
But it wasn't, we don't think that was the
pair.
No, we think that was another adult individual because it didn't seem like.
But what we haven't been able to see is what's
welcome.
going on beneath this bird.
But we have some clips that have been sent in to us that we would love to show you. Okay. So have a little look at this first one. It's really cool. So we think here, look at the little chick. Oh, it's so tiny, isn't it?
Yeah, but you say it's tiny, but wait till you see its beak. Because, I mean, say what you like about the albatross. Big wingspan, big beak.
Big beak. They do have a big beak.
But when you see, in a moment, you get a chance to see the head of that youngster. And it's already got an almighty great honking beak.
It does.
Stuck on that. Look, hold on. Oh,
look, it's behind the grass a little bit. But what an amazing thing. I mean, typically they do hatch late January, early February. So it's a great time to be watching this live cam. Look at that. I think that clip there was actually taken on the 4th of February. But we've have clips of the chick as early as the 25th of January.
Look at the size of the beak.
It's massive, isn't it?
It is.
Oh, look, a bit of preening.
And there, actually, whilst everyone's looking at the youngster, look at the beak of the adult. You can see the tube nose there.
Yeah.
Extraordinary, those nostrils through which they secrete excess salt.
Yes.
Salty snot.
Salty snot.
Oh, that's a great shot of the adult as well.
What's amazing, is the adults take so long to reach sexual maturity. That adult is at least 8 years old. So she's taken a really long time to kind of reach the point where they can reproduce. And in that time, they, might not have touched land for a very long time. They'll be soaring in the sea and come together as a colony to breed, which is pretty amazing, isn't it? Lovely to see. But then we've got this clip as well. Have a look at this. So this is when the other adult comes in. And of course, these albatross are monogamous. So they only have one partner. And they have the most intense, incredible bonds together. And when they meet up, as they're doing now, they do these calls.
You hear that? And they also clatter their bills, don't they?
They clatter their bills and they often do the synchronized kind of Well, it's sort of like a dance. It's a movement, isn't it?
Yeah, these ones haven't been dancing, have they?
No, we haven't seen that.
I love the Cornell lab. I love all about birds, but someone's got to do something about that bit of grass in the foreground. I mean, I hate to say it, but that bit of grass.
Oh, there we go. It's gone. Zoom in and it's disappeared.
Yeah, thank goodness for that. It's very distracting.
But look at that.
Oh, look at that, yeah.
What an amazing thing that is.
And they could be together for like 50 years.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Remarkable.
Amazing.
Absolutely remarkable. It's an incredible thing. So then also we did a bit of, well, when a chick like that comes around, you have to, of course, make the most of it and take scientific analysis of that chick to understand more about that population. So, of course, you have to go and check up on the chick. And this was an amazing clip by someone called Theo from the New Zealand Department of Conservation, who carries out a daily checkup. So they go in every day. But look how close he gets.
They're so passive, aren't
They're so passive.
And also
so
you get
relaxed.
a sense of the size of the bird now.
No.
That's a fully grown adult male man.
Yes.
And look at the size of the bird when he's kneeling down. It's nearly as big as him.
Pokes under there, but it's so relaxed. You know, they don't come across humans like this ever. So there's no, you know, they're not particularly fearful.
He's just giving it a quick check to make sure it's healthy,
yeah,
I guess.
He's just probably going to weigh it, maybe sex it at some point, you know, as non-invasive as possible and as quickly as possible. Just to make sure that all is okay. All is well. It's really hot. It's really hot up there, of course, in New Zealand, and they're right on top of a hill, so the sun intensity is really high. So often what they do as well is they check for fly strike, just to make sure that that chick is nice and healthy. So it's important that they check for that and can treat it if it does occur.
Remember we talked about that, didn't we, when we first started watching? Did you see that?
Poo.
That was fantastic, wasn't it?
Did you see the projection of that?
Quite something, wasn't it?
It was quite something.
It mustered quite a lot of force there, actually.
Force. What I liked about that is he put the chick back under, excreted it, but the adult just comes back and nestles in straight away as if nothing had happened, totally undeterred.
Of course, the benefit of the chick shooting the poo so far is that it doesn't soil its own nest.
Yeah, important.
Like the goshawk. The goshawk is, you know,
filthy.
Goshawk.
Filthy birds, those goshawks. Well, ferocious, filthy birds.
For 3 meters, a goshawk can poo 3 meters.
It's pretty cool.
Hey? I mean,
it's like a ring of 3 meters.
Now, and you can try. You can try if you like.
Have you tried it?
No, I haven't tried to go for the 3 meter mark. But,
no?
you know, you'd have to have, what could you possibly eat that could give you anywhere near the potential to excrete 3 meters? And that's just the goshawk chick, so it clears the nest.
You do, but you see a ring, don't you, around the nest? Often if you look outside, I mean, you just see like this circular ring. Anyway.
Penguins are the same.
Oh, penguins.
They're the same, don't they?
They do. They can squirt quite far.
They squirt quite far.
I've got a photo of a penguin squirting poo, and I took the photo at exactly the right time. And it's just this project. It was remarkable in terms of distance. But anyway, should we move on from projecting
think
feces?
We've had standard-wing nightjar. We've had northern royal albatross chick pooing. It's a standout show for me.
Is it?
There's only one thing. There's only one thing we need.
But that's not right. But it's not right. So Chris brought these over today, and they are not the lentil chips that we have grown to love. These are some quinoa. I mean, I haven't tried these. They might be really good. But you brought on the wrong chips. We'll have to try them.
They still eat real.
I'm sure they're going to be really good.
And obviously they're gluten-free and vegan.
No, but we've become so addicted to the lentil chips. I'm not sure about these.
Should we try them live?
Try them live. What everyone's wanted. Oh, that's pretty good.
I don't know.
Different kind of texture. I like the flavour though, I must admit.
I mean, they're good, but of course, the proof of the chip is in the poodle.
Yeah, but the poodles aren't here at the moment.
No.
We'll have to test that later. Anyway, we should get onto the quiz.
Quiz is another feather. Here it is. Hold that up there like that. Now then, British bird. Distinct banding. There it is, pound coin for scale. Very, very distinctive. Just look at the leading edge. There's a little bit of colour on there. That might be part of the clue. Can't see
Yeah,
it.
look
Can't
very-
see it too clearly there, but you can see it on the photograph, I think. If you look really carefully on the photograph, you can just see a little hint.
Look on the edge on the right-hand side.
And I'm going to be showing you a new book that I'm really pleased with, actually. Oh, yes.
Bird guide, isn't it?
Flight identification of European passerines. So basically, this is European passerines in flight.
Really hard to ID.
Okay.
Very, very tricky.
Right, let's just find one. Like here's redback shrike. So they've got photographs of them in flight, and then they've got these diagrams of the birds in flight. Now, this is helpful for identifying the birds when you're out and about and you're seeing a little, glimpse of a bird flying over. Undoubtedly, that's wall creeper. Hold on. Oh, yes, look at that. But also, I've got to tell you, it's also it's equally good for identifying feathers, of course, because you get to see all the feathers.
That's a good point.
In the wing. So this doubles up. So it is flight identification of these birds. Just look, compare and contrast your doves. What about that? I love that.
Yeah,
hey?
I know you've been getting your book out every opportunity.
I love that. Superb stuff. Yeah, wild guides. They do some fantastic field guides. I'm loving this one at the moment. Look at the hoopoo on the front, hey? And the hawfinch. Hoopoo and hawfinch on the cover. They know their stuff, don't they? These wild guide people. They know what to put on the cover. Anyway, later on we'll reveal the quiz, and we can show you in that book which feather this came from and how you would use that book to identify it.
Whose feather it is.
Hey.
Now, you may remember in the spring, Nina Constable, who's a fantastic wildlife filmmaker, made a series called Wild World, and she got a collection of different people to film various different things from around the UK, and she put them together in the most heartwarming, uplifting series. Now, she's actually doing it again for winter, and I'm really excited about it because I've seen a couple of the clips already. They're really, really, really good. And Lizzie Daly is a part of that series, and we've got a clip now from that Wild World series with Lizzie. So let's take a little preview of that.
Well, here we are again in another lockdown, and I'm sure, like me, a lot of you are having to dig deep right now to find creative ways to stay positive in this lockdown. But on days like today, when it's wet, it's windy, it's a real opportunity to pause and reflect, to remember the incredible experiences I've had, and to know that at some point in the not so distant future, I hope I'll be able to get out again with my camera once more. So today I want to talk to you about a particular place close to my heart, Scotland. Just before the current lockdown, my work actually took me up to the beautiful island of Mull in the Inner Hebrides. We saw the most beautiful sunrises and sunsets, fiery mackerel skies, and most exciting of all, we observed so many otters. I've got to say, it's actually my favourite being here in the winter months. I'm actually just crouched down because along here I'm seeing an otter that's coming down the coast here. You can see them out feeding, picking up butterfish and crustaceans, and if you're lucky, maybe a tiny octopus. Otters are quite territorial. That territory can range from just a few miles up to 20 plus miles. So all along this coastline, it is ideal otter habitat, and there will be a number of otters that are out feeding, sleeping in the kelp when the tide is out, which is also something that you should look out for. Watching them in the water like this, you get a real sense of how brilliant they are as a semi-aquatic animal. You can tell this otter here is diving down super deep because it keeps popping up with a lot of energy and catching its breath and then chowing down on the fish it's caught, and then down it goes. We are so lucky to have Eurasian otters, and on Mull, numbers are doing really well. And I'm just staying downwind, out of sight, as this otter slowly moves up the coastline. It's got to be one of the best things about Mull. One of the things that I love about being out and about and observing nature is the peace that comes with it. There's always something new to learn, something new to see, and something exciting to watch. Now we're being asked to stay at home again, and as the storm passes, I'll be making sure I enjoy the beautiful light and quiet winter that this season and strange lockdown has to offer. But for now, I have to revisit my otter footage and look forward to my next adventure.
Mull.
So good.
Hey, I love mulling on mull.
I love mulling in the presence of otters.
You just got there, you can mull over some otters on mull.
I'd like to. Lizzie
Honestly.
definitely did some mulling over of otters. What an amazing thing.
It's not just otters, there's all
No, I
sorts of
know.
stuff
Mull
there.
is
Hen
good.
harriers,
Eagles.
Anyway, look, I'll tell you what, rather than us go on about it, let's let Lizzie go on about it. She's been there more recently than we have. Lizzie, where are you? Are you here?
I'm here. Hello. Lots of mulling on mull. You can't not mull on mull, hey.
It's a hot spot though, isn't it? It's a really good, in terms of the UK, it's one of the eco-tourist hotspots, isn't it?
Yeah, I have to say, my best hen harrier encounter in November on mull. It was the best. I had a male. It was myself and Ewan Miles from Nature Scotland, and we had just a male right above us, just flying around the field for about a minute. No one else around. Absolutely epic. It's such a cool place. There's so much to see. Yeah.
But then not just the birds, the mammals, obviously otters, and then also the cetaceans are brilliant around mull as well, aren't they?
Yeah, really good. And I guess it's kind of a place where you can go at any time of year and always see something exciting. So I was actually there in November, and the plan was to film otters primarily, but the white-tailed eagles kind of took over a little bit because it was myself and Ewan, and we were trying to get some really nice footage, interesting behaviour of otters. And there's a spit off of the south side of Loch Kiln, I think that's how you say it. I don't want to say it wrong now, but the south side of one of the main otter spots. And apparently at low tide, it's a really good place for white-tailed eagles that apparently have been making the most of the odd injured goose on this spit. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they will take geese, won't they? And wildfowl. I mean, obviously in the winter they do take a lot of carrion as well that gets washed up on the shore. But yeah, they're good, decent goose predator, the white-tailed eagle.
Yeah, so that was sounds bad to say, but I was kind of rather hoping. We kind of sat at the spit for a while, camera on the spit, hoping to get some predation from that, but that didn't happen. Instead, we had, and I'd be quite keen for you guys to see this clip to see what you think, because it's obviously known that white-tailed eagles mob otters for food. They're very opportunistic, but these pair of juvenile white-tailed eagles that you can see just here were following these two otters for about 15 minutes. And you can just about make out these otters kind of coming to the surface and diving down again over and over and again, all the way down the coast. But at one point, that juvenile basically had its talons almost wrapped around one of the otters. And it was just so interesting to see. And, I was chatting to Dave Sexton about it, and he was saying, mobbing is quite common, but these otters they didn't have any food. They weren't hunting. And I do wonder if they were kind of being pushed down the coast because of these white-tailed eagles kind of coming after them.
Yeah. I mean, typically, once the otters have got the food out, that's when the eagles go in and try and klepto-parasitize it, isn't it? Yeah. But they didn't have any food. I suppose it's just habit then. They must just be harassing them on the off chance.
Yeah, and maybe just hoping that they were going to get something, whether it is an otter or not. But they did seem very persistent. I do wonder as well, as juveniles, they're a bit more persistent than adults, I guess, in taking the larger prey items for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing to see that kind of interaction between those animals is something very, very special. And it's probably like a kind of a bubble of kind of behavior that you're seeing that's quite unique, actually. So, an amazing thing to go and experience. Really cool.
Yeah, very lucky to see it.
What else have you been up to? Science of Flight.
Yes, so I have been working with S4. They're a really brilliant kind of organisation, part of Swansea University. They're trying to bring science to everyday students. They bring in schools into the university, and essentially they're trying to make science more accessible. So schools from all over, whatever their background or wherever they live, they'll bring them into the classroom and kind of create a safe space where they can learn about science in a new way, not the classic lab coats or what you may perceive to be a scientist, and breaking down those barriers. So unfortunately, because of COVID, we're unable to go into the university. So instead, we are putting together an online series about the science in our skies. And it is, it's just blowing my mind, because we're covering all the birds of prey in the UK,
from falcons to hawks, owls, we're doing eagles and kites, all the native birds of prey, so that any student that's part of that online series can then, I don't know, when they look up to the sky, not just see a buzzard, but learn about their adaptations and the chemistry of their feathers and the way they see the world and how white-tailed eagles hunt and the maneuverability of goshawks. So yeah, it's a really exciting project, and I just wanted to kind of include S4 in that because they're really doing some brilliant work making science a lot more accessible. So yeah.
Is it up and running yet? Can people access it yet, or when will it be available?
So that'll be available in springtime, probably all wrapped up by April. So we've done all the filming for it, just putting together the videos. I'm hoping a large part of that will be available to the public as well. So I'll make sure I shout about that and make sure people can tune in because it's fascinating. It's brilliant.
Sounds amazing.
And Meg said you've been to Norway.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. So I was we were making a film actually about the protection of the waters around Norway. There's oil exploration, unfortunately, now in the Norwegian Sea and Barents Sea, and we were looking at the whales there as well. Of course, lots of white-tailed eagles there. Actually, interesting there that they are a bit of a nuisance to a lot of the fishing vessels in Norway. I'm pretty sure Norway's probably the largest populations of white-tailed eagles are in Norway. Yeah. I may be wrong.
I think they've, in some places, Lizzie, they've reached what we call carrying capacity, so that it's full up. There's no more space for any more eagles. There's a couple of places on the Norwegian coast where they've got to that level. I mean, obviously they were absent for a long time due to persecution and also pesticides, but they've bounced back, and now they're doing really well in some places.
Yeah, and it was, we were filming lunge feeding humpback whales and orca that were feeding there on the overwintering herring in these fjords of northern Norway. Just spectacular behaviours, but at the same time you've got these white-tailed eagles at the surface kind of dive bombing down, taking herring from the surface. So a really dramatic place. It's a place that I've fallen in love with, northern Norway. It's brilliant, yeah.
Yeah. It's been amazing. I've seen all of your clips on your social media, Lizzie. If you don't follow Lizzie on social media, make sure that you do. Lizzie Daly Wild. And honestly, the sites that you saw, I know you went there with Steve Trueluck, didn't you? He's a fantastic, cetacean specialist who lives up in Scotland. And yeah, when I saw those photos coming in, honestly, I would have done anything to have been on that boat with you. Anything.
There's nothing like a bit of...
Couple of years ago, Michaela and I were out, and we were in a small inflatable boat, a rib, in amongst a group of orca that were feeding on those herring, and we had them all around the boat, and a seagull went over, and an orca came up and was spy hopping, when they just sort of sit in the water with their head out, and the eagle swooped in and hovered over the orca.
What a photo.
Oh, well, obviously we were filming and not taking photographs, but I'll never forget it. It's tattooed in my mind. It was an amazing experience. And of course, the other thing is that the orca are doing well because of this increase in the herring as well, aren't they?
Yeah, it's actually really interesting because I've happened to be in there the past 3 years, and the changes in where the whales are going year on year is a really kind of got fascinating history, because before they were further south down in Tromsø, and over the years they seem to have pushed more and more north up the coast, and they think that may be due to obviously the movement of the herring, but I think the main worry is that the herring eventually just split off from Norway, have nowhere else to go as they're now already so far north. And what does that mean for the whales? I think there's question marks as to, every year there's always question marks as to whether they'll come back and the movements of the orca there. So it'll be interesting to see how that changes as well.
Yeah, I do remember talking to some people, and they said that the patterns had changed over the years. So the herring, sometimes they'll come right into the fjords, sometimes they're in the mouth of the fjords, and sometimes they're out at sea. And they, if they come in, they'll do that for sort of 5-10 years, and then they move to a different location. They didn't seem to know why. I mean, obviously there must be a reason for it, whether it's water temperature, but they're spawning. Aren't the herring are spawning, aren't they?
Yeah. So they spawn over winter in these fjords. So they're kind of sitting in there, it's like they're overwintering grounds, and that's kind of why they sit at certain levels of those fjords in the ocean, until then they head off then towards, I think, March time. And I'm not entirely sure where all the orca go. And I think chatting to Norwegian Orca Survey that do tagging there as well of some of the orcas, they're not entirely sure where they all go to afterwards. But yeah, there's kind of big changes and interesting movements with the herring there. I'd love to learn more about that side of things as well.
Yeah, it's a great place to go if you're fortunate enough to be able to get out there. And of course, once the lockdown's lifted, people may start traveling again. Bit of a hike to get there. And I'll tell you one thing, whatever you do, don't buy a slice of pizza in Oslo airport.
Oh dear. Are you not going to say some awful story now, are you?
No, I mean, I just, you need to remortgage your house. And Norway, unfortunately, is one of the most expensive places on the planet, I think, isn't it, Lizzie? I mean, you think twice about buying a bar of chocolate, don't you?
Yeah, I think at one point, we thought we'd buy some beers, some Bjorn, which is like the absolute base level of beer. And I'm not even sure it was beer. You can't really classify it as that. It was a lot of money for a small can of something.
No, it is very expensive. That's the downside of Norway, unfortunately.
I've never been. So Lizzie, next time you go, let me know, because I'd love to come with you.
Yeah, absolutely. Invite is there for you both. I also, if it's okay, just to kind of mention an exciting project coming up for next year.
Of course.
For some reason, there's really great kind of big birds of prey and vultures and exciting birds in my life at the moment. But bearded vultures obviously have played a big part in the UK this year with Vigo arriving, and myself and Luke Massey and Katie Stacey, as part of Wild Thinker, have collaborated with the VCF, so the Vulture Conservation Foundation. And the plan is for this year to next year to make a documentary about the success of their foundation and learn about the people and share their story. It is such a successful reintroduction program, as I'm sure you all know, watching the details of that and how brilliant it's been. So just keep an eye out for that, because they do amazing work. And the plan will be to look at all the people behind that success and what that's looking like at the moment across the Alps. So yeah, a really exciting project coming up too.
Bearded vultures, stunning birds.
Yeah, really
absolutely
great
stunning.
stuff.
Really, really beautiful.
I'm looking forward to seeing that, Lizzie. I think it's going to be
and
amazing.
Of course, Luke Massey, friend of SIBC, still promising us. Yeah,
still weighing bears, wolves as well, wasn't there?
Yeah, wolves and bears. He's always saying, "I'm going to get you a bear."
Full of empty promises.
Last time he sent us a video and we thought, "This is it. It's the bear. It's salamanders."
Yeah, but it was, I mean,
it was delightful.
It was still lovely. It wasn't a bear, but it was still pretty cool.
Complaining.
But I'm sure he's going to deliver on the bearded vulture front. That's for sure.
Oh, a bearded vulture.
Yeah. Should I be worried?
No.
Well, just if he starts going on about his bears, then I'd, get
mammals.
Get a good book out and settle down.
It'd be bearded salamanders next.
Exactly.
Top bloke, Luke Massey. Absolutely top bloke, and Stacey, of course. Yeah. Lizzie, thanks ever so much for joining us.
Thank you. Lovely to see you both, and good luck with the gardening, Chris. It sounds great.
Yeah, gardening's ongoing, of course, and we can catch up with some more of your activities on youtube.com/Nina Constable, can't we?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. And I know she's got another one coming out, I think literally in about 20 minutes after tonight. So that Wild World.
Finish off.
Another Wild World, yeah.
Okay.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Lizzie.
Thank you both. See you soon.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah. Oh, I love Lizzie. And you know what? It's a really good thing at the moment, whilst, of course, the schools are still closed. We're all still in lockdown. One amazing resource that Lizzie has created for anybody who's looking just for an interest in natural history and the environment, or, to put up lessons for kids. Go onto her YouTube channel, Earth Live Lessons. I don't know how many there are now. There's got to be at least 80. And she's given her YouTube to be taken over by scientists and conservationists around the world. And they talk everything from, the science of soil and the science of worms to the science of the big megafauna, the elephants and everything else. So it's a really fantastic thing. So Earth Live Lessons, and of course in 20 minutes time another Wild World from Nina Constable is coming out.
Okay, really on good. YouTube/Nina Constable, easy to find.
Skull of the day reveal.
Skull.
Oh, feather of the day reveal.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm so used to skull of the day.
Did anyone get it right?
Let's have a little look. They did, actually.
Did they?
So we've got Danny, Morgan, Dave, Ben, Tara, Kate, Manda, John, Darren, Polly, and Sarah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Pretty good, isn't it?
Let's have a little flick through the flock identification of European passerines and select land birds, an illustrated and photographic guide.
You're very excited by that book.
I love that. And I'm going
gorgeous
to
feather.
jump straight to this page, the Eurasian green woodpecker. And there, look, you see, if you look at the patterns on the wing of the woodpecker.
This way.
There it is.
Oh, no. Oh, there we go. Oh,
yeah.
there.
Look, you see the underwing there, and you can see that there.
There we go.
So you've got the photos and you've got the drawings, and the drawings are excellent for feather ID. And yeah, this is a wing feather.
Which is quite difficult.
I know, I can't see what I'm doing at all. Hold on. That seems to be okay. Okay. So yes, the wing feather of a green woodpecker.
Great, isn't it? I love a green woodpecker.
Superb.
I haven't seen one in such a long time. Well, look at this great photo. This is from Ben Andrew.
Oh, look at that. Yeah. It's pretty good, isn't it? I love the green woodpecker. They
Yeah,
always look angry, don't they?
They
They've
do,
always got
do
a
you know
problem.
what? I like a bird with a bit of sass.
Yeah.
I like it. A bit of attitude.
Yeah.
I respect it. I like it. I think it's good.
Yeah.
I like the sound they make, that kind of giggle that they do. I love it. I love a green
Hey, look at the
woodpecker.
next page. Honestly, got to have a quick look
What's
at that.
that?
Look, golden oriole.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes. Oh, we like a black and yellow bird, don't we? Really. Look at that. Do you know the golden oriole? It reminds me of a Lamborghini Miura.
Does it?
Yeah, because the Miura was
Because
famous.
it's obscene.
Right, because they're just basically over bright, you know.
Yeah.
The Miuras were painted lime green and orange. I mean, they
see.
did some subtle coloured ones and things like that, you know. But you know, the Lamborghini Miura, yeah, sensational stuff. I love this book.
You do.
Yeah, it's good. I might just settle down.
You settle down because there's been lots of birthdays recently, so I should say lots of happy birthdays.
So just before you
go
get
on.
started, I've just got to show you this page here. Look, this is the woodpecker page, which enables you to identify all of what we call the ladderback woodpeckers from Europe, like that. And then on the other side is the green woodpecker and presumably the grey-headed woodpecker there at the bottom. Yeah, look at that. It's good, isn't it?
It's good.
Hey, sorry.
That is good.
It's really good. With the
Right.
Eurasian golden oriole, the Lamborghini Miura of birds.
Yeah. There that is. Right, lots of people's birthdays. So birthdays today, we've got Catherine Jagg from her ragamuffin husband and aspiring naturalist daughter Harriet. Very happy birthday to you, Catherine. We've got Jenny, who's 14 years old today. Happy birthday, Jenny.
Happy birthday, Jenny.
Birthdays tomorrow include Naomi from Edinburgh and Dina from Wales. A very happy birthday to you both, and a massive thanks from us to Dina. Thank you very much and very happy birthday. We've also got on the 9th of February, we've got Graham would like to wish his wife Jane a very happy birthday. She rarely misses an episode. That's quite a feat, isn't it?
It is.
Quite a feat. And also, actually, Jane wrote in herself to wish a happy birthday to her friend Kate. So very happy birthday to you, Jane. Hope you have a fantastic day. Lucy as well would like to wish her husband Andy a very happy 40th birthday. Happy birthday to you. On the 10th and 11th, we've got Susan's son Richard will be 7 years old on the 10th of Feb. Very happy birthday, Richard. Richard really enjoys watching these broadcasts with his mum. Jim wrote in with us to say happy birthday to Tina on February the 11th. So very happy birthday, Tina. And also some belated birthdays as well. We've got Julie Hargreaves, we've got Sandra Blaney, Maria, and Alice's best friend Phoebe, who turned 20, and Andy Compton, who was 47 on the 30th of January. He and his son Lucas have learned a lot from SIBC and have watched every single episode.
There we are.
Every single episode. Happy birthday, everyone.
Happy birthday, everyone. And it's your birthday this week, isn't it?
No, I'm forgetting about that.
Are you?
Yeah.
Why?
Oh, I don't know.
I can forget about getting you a present then.
Yeah, forget about it.
Great. Fantastic. Right, moving on. Moving on.
If you do have a birthday and you'd like us to mention it, do send it in to us on birthdays@sibird.club.
Okay, we've got a poem here now, which I'm going to try and orate.
This was written about SIBC and put on the Facebook group, and it is lovely. So thank you very much to Jill Martin.
Jill Martin, okay. I'm only an admin. I work every day, but Boris has told us he wants it this way. He has to work too, and so do his team, the farmers, the teachers, and even the Queen. The same as the police, the chemists, the cabbies, the cooks, the army, the carers of babies. But my turn will come, and this too shall pass. So until my jab gets here, I'll just sit on my arse. Scanning the pictures on SIBC, enjoying the post, especially fluffy. The Marians are awesome with everything fox. So hoping that Vix comes to visit her box. The gentle referencing of the talented Paul. Chris and Megan, I'm impressed by you all. Watching the birdies and hearing them sing. Waiting for bluebells, excited for spring. Watch. The mice in the brambles are cute as can be, as are the sparrowhawks catching their tea. This group is the best. We share each other's pain. So thank you, my friends, for keeping me sane. It's not as it should be. We're missing a lot, but we're also alive. So many are not. So I'll just be grateful. No more should we ask. We're in this together, whatever our task. Oh, hands, face, and space. Keep wearing your mask.
I love that.
There we
What
are.
a beautiful thing. Thank you so much, Jill, for writing that poem. It's
Very good. Very good.
very
indeed.
nice, isn't it?
Yeah. Excellent stuff.
Yeah.
So we're coming towards the end. We have asked you before if you would mind subscribing on YouTube.
Yes.
Doesn't cost anything.
Doesn't cost. Just
So we
literally
always-
look down there. There's a yellow button.
Why they
Big,
call it a
big
subscription.
letters, subscribe. Just click it.
We say it every week.
It's us to keep up to date with you.
And also, if you like what you see on YouTube, Fabian has asked us if you could tick the little thing with the thumb up.
Oh yeah.
Like that.
If you like our ramblings and
Maybe not tonight because we went on about projectile, fecal.
Yeah. Someone wrote in and sent a comment saying that there should be an Olympic category
For what?
for wildlife projectile pooing.
I wonder who would win.
Maybe that's a question that we'll figure out for next time. Tune in next week to find out the official title
Gotta be
of animal projectile pooing.
Gotta be a bird, surely.
I'd thought it would be a bird. But do you count monkeys which fling?
No. Oh no.
Or you can't have a...
No.
It has to be natural.
It's got to come directly from the rectum. You can't have manual assistance.
You see. Okay.
Obviously, otherwise you just pick it up and throw it, wouldn't you? No. Anyway,
Okay.
let's see if we can lower the tone even further next week. Will it be
I'm
possible?
so sorry.
Will it be
It's
possible?
been a long week.
Okay. So we're about to sign off, and that's in a timely fashion because you'll be able to go to YouTube and switch over and watch Nina Constable.
Wild World Winter.
Wild
So have a
World
look,
Winter.
Nina Constable on YouTube. It's a fantastic series.
Really good
excited
stuff.
about it.
Really good stuff. And we're going to show you. We're just going to play out with our Northern Royal Albatross. Remember, you can donate to All About Birds on that Call Now website, so you can enjoy their cameras all around the world. Not just there. They've got one in Panama.
Yeah,
Obviously, they
all over the
do
place.
in the Northern Hemisphere. When spring comes around, they'll have those red-tailed hawks again.
Oh, I'm excited to see
At
what
the
goes on.
university. So their cameras are excellent stuff, aren't they? Really.
And we will see you next week at 6 p.m.
Yeah, and next week we should be back and we will have the real McCoy. I mean, I'm not complaining about do you say quinoa or do you say quinoa? What do you say?
Quinoa.
Quinoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
Quinoa. I don't know. Do I say quinoa? I think I said quinoa earlier, didn't I?
Quinoa. You said
I said quinoa.
You said quinoa earlier.
It's because I like to say things
Well, some
phonetically.
people say, yeah.
Quinoa. I mean, do you know what? It's whatever takes my fancy in the moment.
Yeah, but that isn't spelt like quinoa, is it?
No.
Oh, it's, like you say, phonetically.
Quinoa.
Unless it's hold on, I don't know anything about this seed.
Grain.
Okay, well that's a seed then.
Well,
but maybe in its country of origin, quinoa is pronounced quinoa. That could be it.
quinoa, probably.
Whatever.
Quinoa. Anyway, we've gone off track again. I'm sure you were waiting for your glass of wine,
I'll
your tinner of something.
tell you what. No, I'm going to go off.
Oh no!
Completely off track.
We were so
Fabian,
close.
one more time. Before we play out with the Northern Royal Albatross, I think it's only fair that we see one of the finest birds in the world yet again. I'm talking about the standard wing nightjar, of course. Let's have one more little flowy of that remarkable shot of the standard wing nightjar. Oh my goodness me.
Look at that. It just doesn't look real, does it? It's unbelievable. It's a marvel of evolution.
Oh, it's awesome. It's awesome beyond compare, isn't it?
It's pretty cool.
Look at that. Oh my goodness me, right in front of him and on his video.
Good. It's pretty good.
Oh, super. Well, I'm going to go and lie down.
You all right?
Going to try and get over that. We'll see you again next week.
Good night, everyone. See you at 6 p.m. next Sunday.